CME on cardinal symptom, that is acute chest discomfort. This is the term discomfort. It also includes chest pain. Actually, we come across in our clinical practices with chest discomfort, meaning thereby we see heaviness, pressure, tightness, burning, aching, and of course pain. So all these a spectrum of symptoms constitute the chest discomfort. And that's why it is important to know important conditions which create the acute chest discomfort. And today CME will be different from the earlier CME, because in earlier CME we talked about management portion, which involved primarily two broad sections: investigation and another is treatment. And today we will be discussing the acute chest discomfort under different headings. First of all, we will divide the acute chest discomfort between two groups: cardiopulmonary conditions causing acute chest discomfort, and number two will be non-cardiopulmonary conditions causing acute chest discomfort. Now, and these two broad groups will be discussed in under following headings. Number one, condition. Name of the condition. Name of condition like myocardial ischemia. That will be the condition. Acute chest discomfort, in fact, will be described under these five headings. Condition. Name of the condition. Second, onset oblique duration, whether it is sudden onset, gradual onset, prolonged onset, and what is the duration of that discomfort. What is the quality of the discomfort, whether it is aching, burning, tearing, ripping, heaviness, tightness, or pleuritic in quality. So the quality. And fourth will be location. What is the location of the discomfort, or what is the location of the pain. And fifth will be associated features. Associated features. So these are the four fundamental headings. Name of conditions we all know. What is the onset and duration? What is the quality of, what is onset and duration of the pain? What is quality of the pain? What is location of the pain? And what are associated features with the pain? If we know these 4 points, then we can easily distinguish what is the actual cause of the pain or the discomfort. So in these 4 headings, all the cardiopulmonary and non-cardiopulmonary conditions will be discussed. So first of all, we must enumerate what are the cardiopulmonary conditions which produces acute chest pain or acute chest discomfort. For all practical purposes, we have to You can tell it acute chest pain also. Acute chest discomfort or acute chest pain. What are the under cardiopulmonary heading? We have three classes of causes. First is cardiac. Second is vascular, and third is pulmonary. Pulmonary causes of acute chest pain. In cardiopulmonary group of acute chest pain, we have cardiac causes, vascular causes, and pulmonary causes. So, what are the cardiac causes which can produce acute chest pain? Number one is myocardial ischemia. And number two is pericarditis. Pericarditis. These are the two important conditions in cardiac group, myocardial ischemia and pericarditis. And in vascular category, we have three important causes. First is called acute aortic syndrome. Acute aortic syndrome, which you also know commonly as aortic dissection. Aortic dissection is also known as acute aortic syndrome, which causes tearing pain, ripping pain, knife-like pain, and that is sudden in onset. So, acute aortic syndrome. Number two is pulmonary embolism. Embolism. And number three is pulmonary hypertension. So these are the vascular causes which cause. These are the vascular causes of acute chest pain. Acute aortic syndrome, which is also known as aortic dissection, pulmonary embolism, pulmonary hypertension, and now in pulmonary causes. Pulmonary causes of acute chest pain are pneumonia. Number one is pneumonia, also called pleuritis, and or say simply pneumonia. And number two is a spontaneous pneumothorax. Pneumothorax. After that, I will be telling. After I enumerate all the causes, I will be talking about onset, duration, quality, location, and associated features, so that we can distinguish this from this, and this from this, and this from this. So note down the pulmonary causes of acute chest pain can be pneumonia and spontaneous pneumothorax. Now coming to the non-cardiopulmonary causes of acute chest pain. Non-cardiopulmonary causes of acute chest pain or acute chest discomfort. So it is divided into three major groups. One is intestinal. Another is neuromuscular, and third is psychological. Psychological or emotional and psychiatric conditions. Psychological, these are the three broad category of non-cardiopulmonary acute chest pain. And in category of gastrointestinal, we have causes like number one, esophageal reflux. Means the gastric content comes back to the esophagus after patient reclines on the bed after meal. Number two is esophageal spasm. The patient feels tightness, heaviness, and burning, and it is spontaneous in origin. Esophageal spasm. Third is peptic ulcer. The pain of peptic ulcer usually starts 60 to 90 minutes after meal. And I will be telling about this further also. And peptic ulcer, and fourth cause is gallbladder diseases. Gallbladder diseases. So these are the four important gastrointestinal conditions which create acute chest pain or acute chest discomfort. Esophageal reflux, esophageal spasm, peptic ulcer, and gallbladder diseases. And in category of neuromuscular conditions like there is called number one is costochondritis. That happens at the junction of sternum and clavicle, that causes pain, acute pain, costochondritis. Number two is cervical disc disease. Cervical disc disease causes pain in neck and arms. And number four important causes. Number two. Number three is trauma. Neuromuscular pain can also be due to trauma or a strain, also called a strain. Trauma or a strain. And fourth cause of neuromuscular group of acute chest pain is herpes zoster. There is burning pain and there is associated vesicular rash on the body. I will be telling about these things in detail. And in psychological category, all the psychiatric conditions like depressions and emotional problems, and these kind of discomfort, they are variable in their onset and duration, the quality variable in their location. Such patients in psychological group, they have pain or discomfort in situations. Situational factors precipitate the pain because they don't have actually any organic problem, and their situations, their thought process generates that result of feeling of pain, and sometimes also feeling of panic or doom. that the world is going to end. Such kind of feeling. So these are the various causes of acute chest pain, and now one by one I will be telling about their onset, duration, quality, location and associated features, so that we can better understand them and we can distinguish one cause of pain from another cause, and that will help us to reach to the exact diagnosis and exact treatment also. So now coming to the first condition. So in total there are how many broad causes of acute chest pain? Taken together these all will become, I think it will be 16 in number. Myocardial ischemia, pericarditis, then in vascular cause, acute aortic syndrome, pulmonary embolism, pulmonary hypertension, in pulmonary cause, pneumonia, spontaneous pneumothorax, non-cardiopulmonary, gastrointestinal, esophageal reflux, esophageal spar, peptic ulcer, gallbladder disease, in neuromuscular cause, osteochondritis, cervical disc disease, trauma or strain, and herpes zoster, and in psychological. So all taken together there are 16 causes. If you enumerate them, so these are the 16 important causes of chest pain, and you should know about them in following terms, in under following headings: onset, simply listen it carefully and note it down when you really feel important. The following, the condition, onset, oblique duration, quality, location and associated features. Associated features. Because all these taken together will help you to understand what is the actual cause. So let us start with the condition called cardiac cause. In cardiopulmonary heading, cardiac cause, cardiac. And first cardiac condition is myocardial ischemia. First, myocardial ischemia. And under myocardial ischemia, we have three subcategory of symptoms. Three subcategory, that is a stable angina, unstable angina, and myocardial infarction. So how to distinguish these things? Myocardial angina, stable angina, is precipitated by exertion, cold or stress. Exertion, cold or stress, and duration of a stable angina is 2 to 10 minutes. The pain will last for 2 to 10 minutes. Okay? And in unstable angina, the pain can happen even at rest. Unstable angina, pain, it is increasing in pattern, means its onset and duration is increasing in pattern, means the duration of pain is gradually increasing, and finally it becomes so much that pain also happen even at rest. Pain even at rest. That is unstable angina. Pain by exertion, cold or stress lasting 2 to 10 minutes. It is a stable angina. Unstable angina, there is increasing pattern of pain. Means duration of pain is gradually increasing. Not only 10 to 10 minutes, it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes. And what happens when there is pain? Such patients try to get down and relieve themselves. But in unstable angina, the pain is, even at rest, the pain is there. That is not going to subside in 2 to 10 minutes. Pain happens even at rest. And in case of myocardial infarction, but it will be less than, more than 10 minutes and rest, but not last more than 30 minutes. In pain of myocardial infarction lasts more than, duration is more than 30 minutes. If a patient in OPD or in emergency comes with vomiting, chest pain, and other autonomic symptoms and chest pain, and the duration is more than 30 minutes, then we should suspect about myocardial infarction. So, and if a patient comes with that they are started with chest pain, and now after coming to emergency, they are telling now I am feeling better, even without treatment, then we should suspect this one. And if the pain is still continuing and the pain duration is less than 30 minutes, it should be, and really gets relieved within 30 minutes, the chances is the patient is having unstable angina. And when the duration of pain is more than 30 minutes, the chances is it is myocardial infarction. So this is myocardial ischemia is one group, and there are 3 subgroups, that is stable angina, unstable angina, and myocardial infarction. Only the duration is different in these things. Another thing, rest of the things like quality, location, and associated features are more or less same. What is quality of myocardial ischemia? It is heaviness, pressure, tightness, burning, pressure, heaviness, tightness, burning. These are the quality of myocardial ischemic pain. Means all variety of pain is possible in myocardial. And location is retrosternal, means behind. Typically it is retrosternal. Pain is typically retrosternal, but there may be radiation of pain in myocardial ischemia. To where it can radiate? To neck, to jaw, to arms, to shoulders. So there is radiation, retrosternal in location, and there is radiation to arms, neck, jaw, shoulders. And associated features. In case of acute myocardial infarction, not in angina and unstable angina, stable angina, in case of acute myocardial infarction, if there happens infarction of the papillary muscles of myocardial papillary muscles of valve of mitral valve, then you may get murmur of mitral regurgitation, pansystolic murmur. So murmur of mitral regurgitation, sometimes S4 or S3. S4, S3 and murmur of mitral regurgitation. These can be the associated features in case of myocardial infarction. S3, S4 and murmur of myocardial mitral regurgitation. Murmur of MR. So this can be the associated features, and by means of this you can have an idea. There is acute chest pain and the patient is having murmur of pansystolic murmur at the apex, and that is also radiating to the axilla. Then you might suspect the patient is having myocardial infarction, which has led to the acute mitral regurgitation. Acute mitral regurgitation is caused by acute myocardial infarction. So you should know about it. And next condition is pericarditis. Next cardiac cause is Number 2, pericarditis. Pericarditis. So onset of pericarditis is variable. You cannot delineate from for how many days the pain is having, and its duration may vary hours to days. So onset is variable. It may vary, and duration may be hours to days. For how many days you are feeling pain? Some patient might say I am feeling it from the last 12 hours, last 20 hours. Some may say I am feeling pain over last 10 days or 7 days. So in pain of pericarditis, the onset is variable and its duration can be hours to days. And what is the quality of pericarditis pain? The quality is called pleuritic. What is pleuritic quality of pain? This pleuritic quality of pain, it increases with inspiration. When patient inspires, the pain increases. On deep breathing, patient says my pain increases. It means it is pleuritic in character. And such pain has typical feature. The patient feels better when he sits up and leans forward. Sits up and leans forward. So this is pleuritic quality of pain. When pain increases with inspiration and patient gets relieved by sitting up and leaning forward. So this is pain of pericarditis, and location of pericarditis is, it is also retrosternal. Pain is retrosternal, but this pain can also be over the cardiac apex. Pain of pericarditis is retrosternal behind sternum or over cardiac apex. And this pain may radiate to left shoulder. This pain of pericarditis may radiate to left shoulder. Not only pain of MI, but also pain of pericarditis can radiate to shoulder. But the difference will be quality. Here pain will be pleuritic in character, which will increase with inspiration, and patient will feel better after leaning forward. So, an associated feature of this pain of pericarditis, because of being pleuritic, patient feels better after sitting up and leaning forward. And there may be pericardial friction rub. Among associated features, there may be pericardial friction rub in case of pericarditis. Understood? And now we are coming to the vascular causes of acute chest pain. Vascular causes. Number 1 condition among vascular is acute aortic syndrome. Acute aortic syndrome. It is also called aortic dissection. If you read all the causes under the heading onset, duration, quality, location, associated features, then you will have a clear mental picture about all the conditions, and then you can easily delineate one from the another. So, acute aortic syndrome. The onset of acute aortic syndrome or aortic dissection, onset will be sudden. And for both conditions who are sudden in onset, duration does not matter, because their onset force them to come to the doctor. Sudden in onset, and quality of this acute aortic pain is called tearing or ripping or knife-like. Tearing means फाड़ना। रिपिंग ऑल्सो मीन्स से फाड़ना, एंड नाइफ लाइक लगता है चाकू से कोई भोंक रहा है, दैट इज नाइफ लाइक। सो sudden in onset, tearing, ripping, sudden in onset and unrelenting pain. Unrelenting pain. It is also called unrelenting pain. Unrelenting pain means ये पेन किसी भी चीज से मान ही नहीं रहा है, ना गैस की दवा से, ना पेन किलर से। Sudden in onset and unrelenting pain. And quality is tearing, ripping and knife like. And location of this acute aortic syndrome is anterior chest wall. Anterior chest wall. Anterior chest wall. And this pain typically radiates to back between shoulder blades. Anterior chest wall pain radiating back between two shoulder blades. Means pain is felt between two scapulae in the back, and this is unrelenting pain. Sudden in onset, unrelenting pain whose quality is tearing, ripping or knife-like, and the location is anterior chest wall radiating to back between two shoulder blades. So this is anterior and its associated features. So this is about location. What is the associated feature of acute aortic syndrome? Usually the patients are hypertensive. So there will be hypertension, or this condition is also found in connective tissue disorders. So you may find evidence of other connective tissue disorders like Marfan syndrome. Patient will having Marfanoid facies. There may be features of there may be murmur of mitral regurgitation. There may be since it is aortic dissection, so you may get the murmur of aortic incompetence or aortic regurgitation. Murmur of aortic regurgitation. So these are all, and there may be loss of peripheral pulses. This is acute aortic syndrome in which wall of aorta gives way to the blood, and blood is filled in between two layers of the wall of the aortic wall, and ultimately this can lead to rupture of the aortic wall also, and that may lead to in future hypotension and shock and sudden death of the patient. So associated features, there may be hypertension, or there may be evidence of associated connective tissue disorder. You may get murmur of aortic incompetence, loss of peripheral pulses. If you find in emergency the patient is having unrelenting pain and you are not able to find pulse, then the chances is that you are dealing with a case of acute aortic syndrome, and such patients, practically speaking, frankly speaking, we cannot save these in our setup because that demands operative operation. So, but we should know about it so that we can refer at least the patient by giving some supportive treatment. And the second cause of vascular cause, pulmonary embolism. So pulmonary embolism, again the pulmonary embolism is sudden onset, and sudden in onset, and quality of pulmonary embolism, pain of pulmonary embolism is also pleuritic in character. Pleuritic in character means it increases with respiration and patient feels better after leaning forward. So pain of pulmonary embolism is again pleuritic in character, and it is location of pain of pulmonary embolism, it is lateral to the side, lateral Location is lateral because it depends on which side of lung the embolus has gone. If it has gone left side of lung, the pain will be on the left side, and if the embolus has gone to the right side, the pain will be on the right side. So the pain will be lateral in location in case of pulmonary embolism, and in associated features, that is important. In case of pulmonary embolism, you may get dyspnea, tachypnea, tachycardia, and hypotension. Important features, associated features are dyspnea, tachypnea, tachycardia, and hypotension. So these are important features of pulmonary embolism. A patient of chest pain comes with dyspnea, tachypnea, tachycardia, and hypotension, and the character of quality of pain is pleuritic, and it is on one side of the chest. Then the chances is that the patient is having pulmonary embolism. Now the next vascular cause is pulmonary hypertension. The onset of pulmonary hypertension is variable. There is no fixed duration, 1 hour, 2 hour, 1 day, 2 day, 2 weeks. So it is variable in onset. And often it is exertional. The pain is exertional, means pain happens after exertion in case of pulmonary hypertension. In pulmonary embolism there is no exertion, that happens spontaneously, that is sudden in onset. In case of pulmonary hypertension it is variable in onset and it is usually exertional, means it happens on exertion. And quality of pulmonary pain of pulmonary hypertension, the quality is pressure. The patient does not tell exactly that I am feeling pain. He will say हमको भारी लगता है, हमको लगता है कि कुछ रखा हुआ है. So ये pulmonary hypertension, this is the quality of discomfort. That's why we have given the name discomfort. Not always pain. You might get discomfort, not exactly pain. And that discomfort, in case of pulmonary hypertension, the quality of discomfort is called pressure. The pain feels pressure. And location of pain of pulmonary hypertension is substernal. Substernal means below sternum. It is substernal. That is below sternum. Retrosternal means behind sternum. It is substernal. And pulmonary hypertension, associated features of pulmonary hypertension can be dyspnea, and you may have signs of raised JVP, means signs of increased venous pressure. So dyspnea and signs of increased venous pressure. Dyspnea and signs of increased venous pressure, like increased JVP in case of pulmonary hypertension. Understood? The pain will be variable, exertional, quality will be pressure, location will be substernal, and associated feature will be dyspnea. The patient of pulmonary hypertension will have dyspnea, and they may have signs of increased venous pressure, like raised JVP. Now coming to the pulmonary causes. We have covered cardiac causes, vascular causes, and now coming to the pulmonary causes. Pulmonary causes of acute chest discomfort. Number one is pneumonia. Again, the onset of pneumonia is variable. Quality is, onset is variable, quality is pleuritic. Pain of quality is also pleuritic. Location is, it is localized. It will be localized where the pneumonic patch is located. Wherever, whether in upper lobe, middle lobe or lower lobe, accordingly the pain will be localized. In case of, it will not be variable or radiating. It will be localized. It will be placed at one place. That is located at one location. Localized, and associated features of pneumonia will be dyspnea, fever, cough, crepitations in the chest, also called rales. So dyspnea, fever, cough, crepitations. वेरिएबल ऑनसेट, कब से दर्द है कुछ पता नहीं चल रहा है. क्वालिटी प्लूराइटिक, लोकलाइज्ड है. लोकलाइज्ड पेन प्लूराइटिक इन कैरेक्टर, हैविंग डिस्निया, फीवर, कफ, क्रेपिटेशंस. द चांसेस इज वी आर डीलिंग विद अ केस ऑफ pneumonia. And number 2, so a study of associated features is very important to distinguish one from the other. Now, spontaneous pneumothorax. Today's class is going to be a very important because it will help you in OPD emergency, and it will help you throughout your practice also. If you know these 6 kinds of chest discomfort and apply in your practice, then you will be an outstanding practitioner from others, because many people don't know these simple things. Although these are simple things, but we miss because we don't pay attention to these things. That's why we are putting sufficient time and energy in this class. So, a spontaneous pneumothorax. As its name suggests, spontaneous, the onset will be sudden. Onset is sudden, and all the pulmonary causes like pneumonia and spontaneous pneumothorax, since it is related with the pleura, the character quality will be pleuritic. Spontaneous pneumothorax, pleuritic was in pericarditis, pleuritic was in the pneumonia, and also in spontaneous pneumothorax. Quality is pleuritic. That's why by means of just one thing you cannot catch. You have to know about location, you have to know about associated features also. So, sudden in onset, pleuritic in quality, and location again will be lateralized. On which side the pneumothorax develops, whether it is right side or left side, it depends. So it will be lateral in location, and associated features in a spontaneous pneumothorax will be dyspnea in symptoms, and in clinical finding there will be decreased breath sounds on the side of pneumothorax. Dyspnea and decreased breath sound on the side of pneumothorax. So if the patient is having sudden onset chest pain and the pain is pleuritic in character, located on one side, and the patient is having dyspnea and decreased breath sounds, then it is spontaneous pneumothorax. When the patient is having dyspnea, fever, cough, crepitations, then it will be pneumonia. So this is how you can easily catch these things. Okay, now the non-cardiopulmonary. Okay, sorry. Now the non-cardiopulmonary causes of the acute chest pain. So onset of the duration, quality, location, associated features, and condition. Now the non-cardiopulmonary. Among non-cardiopulmonary, first of all, we are going to discuss about gastrointestinal conditions. And first gastrointestinal condition to be discussed is esophageal reflux. Esophageal reflux. So, is the duration, in case of duration, esophageal reflux, its duration of pain will be 10 to 60 minutes. Duration of pain will be, in case of esophageal reflux, the duration of pain will be 10 to 60 minutes, and quality, in case of esophageal reflux, quality will be burning. It will be burning because acidic food content gets reflux, so it will be burning in quality, and location will be substernal or maybe epigastric. Mostly it is substernal. Pain of esophageal reflux is located in substernal location, means below sternum. And there is difference, and there is another term retrosternal, that is behind sternum. Below and behind are two different things. So esophageal reflux, because it is getting reflux from the stomach, that's why the chances that the pain will be lower. That's why it is substernal or maybe epigastric. But you should remember substernal in esophageal reflux and associated features. What will be the associated features of the esophageal reflux? The typical associated features will be the pain increases with recumbency means lying down. The pain increases with postprandial recumbency, means after taking meal, patient lies down and the pain gets relieved because there start reflux of acidic gastric content into the esophagus, and that causes pain. So postprandial pain gets worsened after postprandial recumbency, and it is relieved by antacids. Postprandial recumbency worsens the pain, and antacid relieves the pain of esophageal reflux. Now, next condition, of gastrointestinal is esophageal spasm. In case of a spasm, the patient will feel, the quality will be, spasm means tightness. A spasm means tightness. So patient feel tight. There is, लगता है कि कुछ यहाँ पे बांधे हुआ है, ऐसा बोलेगा. Esophageal spasm, there will be tightness, or sometimes may feel heaviness. So tightness, pressure, or heaviness. So you should remember that one word. In case of spasm, it will be tightness. And esophageal spasm, location of esophageal spasm will be retrosternal. Remember one thing. In case of esophageal reflux, the pain was substernal or epigastric, because the gastric content moves from a stomach to esophagus. That's why the chances will be that the pain will be below sternum. That's why the location of esophageal reflux was substernal. In case of esophageal spasm, there is a spasm in the esophagus itself. And where is esophagus? Esophagus lies behind the sternum. That's why the location of esophageal spasm will be retrosternal. And associated feature, the esophageal spasm mimics angina. It mimics angina. Its pain will be, it mimics angina because spasm, angina relieves after some time, and this spasm also relieves after some time. So it may confuse with, or it may mimic with the angina. So it mimics with the angina. And now the third cause of gastrointestinal will be, and one more thing which I forgot to tell, the duration of esophageal spasm is 2 to 30 minutes. 2 to 30 minutes. Duration of esophageal reflux pain was 10 to 60 minutes, and duration of pain of esophageal spasm is 2 to 30 minutes. Note it down. 2 to 30 minutes. That pain will last 2 to 30 minutes. Pain of spasm, and that's why, since it is 2 to 30 minutes, and pain of angina is also below less than 30 minutes. That's why it may mimic with the, and after 30, more than 30 minutes it becomes infarction, and anginal pain happens up to 30 minutes. That's why it may mimic, because of the duration of pain is similar to the angina, unstable angina. So that's why esophageal spasm may mimic angina because of its duration, 2 to 30 minutes. Now coming to the next, that is peptic ulcer.
This is
Peptic ulcer. Peptic ulcer. So onset and duration of peptic ulcer, its onset is variable. Onset is variable. Usually it is 60 to 90 minutes after meal. After meal. 60 to 90 minutes after meal. The pain of peptic ulcer starts 60 to 90 minutes after meal. And the quality of peptic ulcer pain will be burning. It will be burning. Because this happens because of the acidic content of the stomach. So quality will be burning. Location of peptic ulcer pain are typically in epigastrium. So epigastric in location. Epigastrium is below manubrium of the sternum. No, sorry, GP-sternum of the GP-sternum is cartilaginous region. This is the epigastric region, where the two rib cage joints, that is the epigastrium. So pain of peptic ulcer is located in epigastrium, and the characteristic of peptic ulcer pain, it is relieved by food or antacids. Relieved by peptic ulcer pain, the duodenal ulcer, the gastric ulcer relieved by food, and pain of duodenal ulcer that gets worsened. Sorry, I thought other way around. The pain of duodenal ulcer is relieved by food. Okay, so peptic ulcer, the pain is relieved by food or antacid. Food or antacid. So this is the quality of peptic ulcer pain. It is variable in onset, and it typically starts 60 to 90 minutes after meal, and it is burning in quality, located in epigastric region, and it is relieved by food or antacid. So this is about peptic ulcer. Now the next gastrointestinal cause is gallbladder diseases. The gallbladder conditions are also variable in onset. Gallbladder variable in onset, and the pain of gallbladder is colicky. Colicky means colicky. Colicky means it happens after certain intervals. It happens for some time, again stops, again reappears. So this is called colicky pain, which happens for certain duration, stops and again comes, stops, again comes. That is colicky pain, or also sometimes called aching pain. But that is very vague term, simple term. Aching is not a technical term. Colicky pain. Pain of gallbladder is colicky in nature. It happens and goes, happens and goes, happens and goes. That is colicky in nature. And location of gallbladder is epigastric pain, epigastric or right upper quadrant of the abdomen. Epigastric or right upper quadrant. Right upper quadrant. And sometimes you may find patient having complaint of pain in back also. So even in gallbladder, usually the pain is found in right upper quadrant, but pain can also be found in epigastrium and also in back. And associated features of gallbladder, the patient will having dyspepsia, they have excessive gas formation. So such patients are dyspeptic. Now coming to the neuromuscular causes of the neuromuscular causes of the conditions of the chest pain. So what was the neuromuscular cause? Number one was costochondritis. Costochondritis, it generally happens at the junction of clavicle and sternum. That costochondral junction. It is a pain of costochondritis, inflammation of the costochondral junction. So onset is variable. Onset of this pain is variable, and quality of this pain is called aching. Neuromuscular pain will be aching. It is called ache, simple kind of pain. Ache, body ache, we call body ache. So neuromuscular pain are aching in quality. You must understand it. So costochondritis, it is onset is variable, quality is aching, location is sternum. It is sternum. It is, to be exact, it is located at clavico-sternal junction, because that is the inflammation of the junction itself. Associated feature, the pain can be reproduced by manual pressure of the costochondral junction. If you put finger, the pain can be increased or pain can be produced, and there will be warm, swollen and tender joint, costochondral junction, because signs of inflammation will be there. That will be swollen, warm and tender costochondral junction, and pain can be reproduced by putting pressure over the costochondral junction. So these are the associated features. And now coming to the next condition. Cervical disc disease. Cervical disc disease. The onset of cervical disc disease can be variable and it can be sudden also. It can be sudden in onset. Cervical disc disease can be variable in onset or sudden in onset. Quality of the pain will be aching pain, and this pain, in case of cervical disc disease, you may have numbness, sunapan, numbness of the limbs, numbness of the upper limb. So aching and numbness, and location is neck and arms, arms and shoulder. The location of the pain will be arms and shoulder. In case of cervical disc disease, arms and shoulder. And what will be the associated feature of cervical disc disease? The pain will increase with neck movement. The pain of cervical disc disease will increase with movement of neck. So if a patient is telling there is pain in shoulder and arms, and he or she is also complaining of numbness, and the pain increases with the movement of neck, then the chances is the patient is having some cervical disc disease. And now next neuromuscular condition. Trauma or strain. In case of trauma, the onset will be very constant with the trauma. So this is called constant. Quality of it is again aching. Traumatic pain is also called aching, and location will be where the trauma happened. So that will be fixed. And associated features in case of trauma, in the pain can be reproduced with the movement or palpation. When you move the joint, there will be pain, or the place where the trauma is. If you move that place, then the patient will feel pain. If you palpate, then again he will feel. So with the pain of trauma or strain increases with movement or palpation. Understood? Now the fourth condition of neuromuscular is herpes zoster. Herpes zoster. Herpes zoster. Again, the onset of the herpes zoster is prolonged. It will be prolonged one, because pain of herpes zoster starts many years after the chicken pox, because the virus of the chicken pox gets lodged into the ganglia, cervical ganglia, and after many years that gets reactivated, especially in 6th or 7th decade of life, where immunity of the body decreases, and that again gets activated, and that causes herpes zoster. So onset is very prolonged. It is prolonged. Onset is prolonged, and quality of this is burning in quality. This is typically burning in quality. Herpes zoster, the quality of pain is burning, and location is dermatomal distribution. Dermatomal distribution means pain happens along a particular nerve root, and that's why, and a particular the area of skin supplied by a particular nerve root is called dermatome, and that's why the pain of herpes zoster is along dermatome. So you will be finding many patients having pain along this one, chest wall, along chest, or like across the abdomen in a particular manner, so that they are dermatomal distribution. So herpes zoster pain is burning in quality, and location is dermatomal distribution. And associated feature, there may be rashes along the dermatomes, rashes along the involved nerve root. So there may be rashes along the there will be associated rashes, and that will be painful, and that will distribution of rash will be along a dermatome. So this is the feature of herpes zoster. You can understand very easily, it's very neat. Many a times such the patients come. And now the third part of the non-cardiopulmonary cause of acute chest pain is psychological. In these various psychiatric conditions and emotional problems are psychiatric conditions are involved. Psychiatric conditions. Psychiatric conditions involved. And in case of psychiatric chest discomfort, the onset will be variable. It will be fleeting, coming and going.
जाओ हवा खत्म हो जाओ बुढ़िया तो छगाती है ना ये ओपीडी में
तो ये तो ऐसा होता है वेरिएबल और फ्लीटिंग. It can be variable, there is no fixed pattern, fleeting, coming and going easily, and quality is also variable. Quality is also variable, and sometimes there might be feeling of pressure or tightness in chest associated with panic or doom. So it is quality may be variable, may be tightness or heaviness. Heaviness is the variable, tightness or heaviness in the chest, and location will be also variable. In case of everything will be variable, then everything, onset, quality, location and associated features. When everything is variable, it means nothing is stable. Means the patient is psychiatric patient. So onset is variable, quality is variable. It might be tightness, heaviness, and with associated with panic. That will be the associated with the tightness, heaviness, and location will be variable. There is no fixed place where it comes. यहाँ बता रहा था ना पिछले कि हमको यहाँ से सर्दी शुरू हुआ, 6 महीना सर्दी है, यहाँ पे खुट करता है, फिर यहाँ पे खुट करता है, फिर यहाँ पे आता है, बता रहा था वही यही वाले थे ये. ठीक है. तो वेरिएबल एंड एसोसिएटेड फीचर्स में क्या हो सकता है साइकियाट्रिक पेशेंट्स का? दे माइट बी फीलिंग पैनिक और फीलिंग डिप्रेस्ड. So these are the various causes of acute chest discomfort by means of which. So in psychiatric conditions, onset will be variable, there will be no fixed pattern, quality will be variable, location will be variable, and such patients might be depressed or might be having some panic disorder. So these are the different causes of acute chest pain or acute chest discomfort, or simply chest discomfort, not only acute. I have told also about chronic conditions like cervical disc disease, that might be for very long period of time, gallbladder disease. So we have covered chest discomfort, although we have largely focused. Why we focus on this one? Because we have to deal such cases in emergency, and such cases, acute cases, are the ones for which a clinician is particularly involved, because if those conditions are not treated timely, the patient, we may lose the patient. That's why it is important to study about acute conditions. So I think I have told in very great detail about all the important types of chest pain or discomfort, and I believe this will help you in future delineating the different causes of chest pain which we come across every OPD, and even and also in emergency, and that is how we can give a very informed investigation, and because knowing the exact condition which is associated also decides what type of investigation would you like to do. If a patient is giving the history of cervical disc disease, then instead of going for ECG, we should first go for the X-ray of the neck, and that is how the treatment part also changes. So thank you.